Hey guys, it's Cthulthu here. So right now I'm in your nil bank. I'm actually in the process of making my bank video, but I thought I'd take a bit of time out so I could make this video on a double experience weekend, seeing as I haven't got much time left. So we've got exactly now 14 hours 30 minutes by my clock until the double experience weekend starts. Just in case you didn't know, it starts at 6 a.m. Central Time on Friday, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 12 p.m. if you're from England. So that's GMT. So yeah, only 14 hours until double experience weekend begins. So yeah, I just wanted to give a few pointers. Now, first thing is something that I'm going to be doing myself. I'm going to be logging out right next to the circus, wherever that is. I'm actually going to have to find out. If you need to find out, go to Adrug and well, I call it Adrug, Ardoyne. It's apparently called. Go to Ardoyne and talk to the fairy near the South Bank. He'll tell you where the circus is. I'm going to be logging out right next to the circus, and the first thing I do when I log in is actually do the circus. So I'm going to be doing agility only, actually. I usually get 10k experience in less than a minute, so this time I'll be getting pretty much 30k experience. You can also do magic and range in there. You get something like 20 to 30k experience on a normal day. So on a double experience weekend, you'll be getting something like 90k, and it doesn't take very long. So if you don't have 99 range, mage, or agility, it's definitely a great way to start the weekend. The second thing I'm going to be doing, I'm going to have at least 10 urns on me. It's going to be any urn that I want. So I'm probably going to get Infernal Ashes from a Slayer task. But whatever skill you really need to get experience in, make sure you have 10 of the relevant urns. They're all full of whatever they're supposed to be full of. And yeah, that should also be one of the first things you do. Send away those urns for the extra experience. So most of you will probably want a prayer experience, so I recommend getting 10 full urns of Infernal Ashes, and you'll get 2.7 multiplier on that experience. So that will be another great way to start the weekend. Obviously, the thing that most people are going to be doing is they're going to be doing a farming run. Now, obviously, farming run includes only doing fruit trees and normal trees. That's where the big experience is. Also, a calquat as well, and there may be a couple of other things that I haven't really thought about. That's because I won't be doing the farming run. I'm just saying it because I know a lot of people will want to do it. The only thing to really say about the farming run, if you don't know already, is that Herblore Habitat, there is a fruit patch there, so make sure that you do not forget that extra fruit patch for extra experience. So this double experience weekend, you should be getting more farming experience than you've ever got before. So that's all I really had to say. Circus, urns, and farming run. Obviously, do the ones you need experience in. I'll only be doing agility, and that's pretty much the only one I'll probably be doing. And then I'll get straight on to Hunter. Hunter is what I'm going to be doing. In terms of what you actually train, I seriously recommend doing obviously the one that will help you most in game first as a priority. So, for example, if you're a PVM or PvP, then Prayer and Herblore should be somewhere on the top of your list. Because obviously you'll want to get extremes, overloads, piety, and turmoil. Um, if not, if you've got nothing important to train, I recommend training the thing that you hate the most, so the skill that you hate the most. That's what I've always done. The first weekend I did rune crafting, the second weekend I did hunter, and this weekend I'll also be doing hunter. I'll be catching draconic Jadingos myself, so if you do see me and if you are hunting, please leave me alone so I can get maximum experience. But that's what I'll do personally. Good luck to whatever you're doing. But like I said, do the skill that will help you the most. Don't do the skill that you find the most fun, because you're just, in the end, what you're doing is you're reducing the amount of time you'll spend on that skill to get 99 or whatever you're looking for in it. And why would you cut short the amount of fun you have? You wouldn't want to do that. So yeah, do that. Also, let me quickly go run down the skills, see if I can give any advice. This is spontaneous advice. I haven't really thought about it. So if you do have any suggestions other than what I say, make sure you leave them in the comments. But let's quickly start, because I don't want this to be a long video. So attack, strength, defense, and hit points. Obviously, I recommend going armored zombies. Range, I recommend using chin chompers against those zombie monkeys or whatever they're called at Apatol. For prayer, there is nothing I really recommend for prayer. Remember that the altar and the ectofungus, or whatever it's called, the ecto I'll call it, will not work because items or things that already multiply experience won't, multiply anymore with double experience weekend. So in other words, the altar won't work and the ecto won't work. So do remember that if you're using prayer. But obviously, like I said, make sure you have prayer urns if you want prayer experience that way. That's definitely a good thing to think about in advance. Magic experience, I'm sure there's plenty of ways, but there's two ways that come to my mind. The first way is to go to Soul Wars. I don't know how busy Soul Wars will be, but I find that there's usually quite a lot of bots. So on the best Soul Wars world, there'll still be quite a few people there. And basically, I recommend Ice Barraging or using any multiple spell. With Ice Barrage, I was getting a 1k experience a spell, so obviously you'll be getting multiplier of 2.7, so that must be pretty decent experience there. Also, the other thing I was thinking about is because summoning is obviously screwed because you'll only be getting 110%, so basically a bonus of 10%. I recommend thinking in other ways. For example, maging rock lobsters. If you mage rock lobsters, you'll get the charms that you want, so you'll get that benefit, but you'll also get a great deal of magic experience. So it's like killing two birds with one stone. So yeah, you know what? This weekend is not all bad for summon if you combine it with other skills. Then there's rune crafting. Like I said, I did that the first weekend we ever had. I used ZMI, and I still suggest using ZMI. For construction, let's quickly knock construction out of the way. Actually, I wanted to do two others with it, but no, let's do construction quickly. Obviously, I recommend doing larders first of all if you're a lower level. If you're a higher level, then I recommend doing dungeon doors or dining tables. Obviously, mahogany at best. Teak if you can't afford mahogany. Dungeoneering, I don't recommend doing that at all. That is because you will not get double tokens, and to be honest, I love dungeoneering. I think it's a fun skill to do, so I'll do it in my own time. I won't rush it, but also I do it mainly because I want something. That's the only ever reason I've trained this skill. That's why I've got level 90, because I've wanted items, and I still want items, so that's why getting double experience is not really in my interest. I want to be getting tokens, so there's no point. Agility course, obviously use the best agility course you can do. The best one is Advanced Barbarian Assault. Barbarian, I said that wrong, the Barbarian, of course, the advanced version. Next one would obviously be Advanced Gnome, and then there's Ape Atoll generally if you're level 70 plus agility. Then there's Herblore. Obviously make the best potion you can, or think in terms of, if you're trying to get overloads, think in terms of making an equal amount of extremes. In terms of the best extreme to make, I would probably say Rangy Potion. The only reason I say that is because you can have 27 potions in your inventory, and then a huge stack of Grenwall Spikes, which means you just have to put less effort into a Herblore. You have to bank less, you save more time basically, and yeah, it's just fast. Then there's thieving. Obviously, I recommend doing Pyramid Plunder. If you're close to 61, 71, level 81, one of those kind of levels, then obviously try and get it in advance, so you could be using the best one possible. Also, there's blackjacking. I've heard that's pretty good, if not better, but that's a lot of effort. So if you're going to be putting a lot of effort into this weekend, then go ahead and go blackjack for thieving experience. Then there's crafting and fletching. I wanted to combine that with construction because basically what I want to say is obviously make the best thing you can. There's not much else to say about those two skills. Slayer, no real suggestions for Slayer. Obviously, do the tasks you get the most experience in per hour. You'll have to work that out yourself. Obviously, cannon tasks are the best. Hunter, like I said myself, I'll be doing Draconic Jadinkos, but you might also want to think about hunting butterflies. That's what I did last weekend when Jadinkos weren't around. Obviously, if you also want to make a bit of money, go and do Red Chin Chompers. Then there's mining. There's no other place but Living Rock Caverns for concentrated gold if you're a lower level coal. And if you're lower than that, then I guess iron ore. Obviously, there's no concentrated iron ore, unfortunately. For smithing, I suggest sticking with normal smithing and doing adamant plate bodies. For fishing, I recommend two things. Actually, I recommend either rocktails or I recommend doing trout and salmon if you're using urns. Now, with rocktails or rockfish or whatever they're called, you can't really use urns very efficiently because there's no real place to bank easily. You're spending a lot of time banking for more urns if you do use urns, and the urns get used very quickly. Trout and salmon, on the other hand, at Shiloh, you have to bank your fish, so why not be able to bank for urns as well? So make sure you do make use of urns. Cooking, Obviously, cook the best you can, and again, use urns. Fire making, obviously magics, but do whatever you can afford. Wood cutting, that has to be ivy. Remember, you cannot use urns for wood cutting ivy. Farming, like I said, do the farming run. And finally, we've got summoning, like I said. Don't bother doing that in the first 10 hours. Obviously, after the first 10 hours, go mad if you really want to. It will save you 10% of your money, and you'll need 10% less charms overall. So it's a good way to get summoning experience. But obviously, you won't get the big bonus for summoning. You'll only get a 10% bonus at all times. So make sure to only summon after the first 10 hours are over. After you've spent the first 10 hours somewhere better. So this has been an 11-minute video. I think it's been pretty decent. Hopefully you find something useful. If you disagree with anything I said, like I said, it was spontaneous. I didn't really put much thought into it, but I do make suggestions. And if I like them, I will annotate them onto the video. But yeah, basically, the biggest tip I can give you is make sure you know what you want to do and prepare beforehand. You've only got 12 hours to prepare, and log out wherever you want to or need to log out. So for example, I'm going to be logging out right next to the circus, and I'm going to make sure that I have all my hunter gear ready so that I can begin hunting straight away. So good luck, guys. Have a good weekend, and the next time you see me or you see my video, it will be a bank video. So look forward to that. See you guys.